My husband and I are both teachers. So we were teaching in Australia, and what we wanted to do was to have an international experience, especially after having our children. So after teaching in Australia, in Sydney, for about 15 years or so, we decided to move to Hong Kong. So we moved over to Hong Kong. It's coming up to 15 years ago now. And at that time, when we came over, one of our good friends was teaching here in Hong Kong and had said how great it was. Yeah, so we just wanted to take that opportunity to be able to do that as well. But at the time that we came over, we had Tara, who was 4.5 years old, Chelsea, who was 2 years old, and Cooper, who was 3.5 months old. So we had a very, very young family. So our priority at the time was to find a school for Tara, a best fit for Tara. And like most people moving to Hong Kong, the idea was we'd only stay for 2 years. But like I said, here we are still nearly 15 years later. So our priority was to find a school that would be the best fit for Tara and for us as a family moving to Hong Kong. So our good friend Terry, who I mentioned before, he was working here at Renaissance College and spoke very highly of Renaissance. And we knew that he was a great teacher and that he would go to a school that was well established and, you know, had what we would be looking for as well as parents. The big thing that drew us into Renaissance was looking at the school's mission statement. So that really resonated with Mark and I as a family to decide on a school that would work for our children, regardless of whether we were there for 2 years or we were here for a longer time. So the school mission statement, and I've just got it here, that RCHK strives to build a culture which promotes peace and democracy, values diversity, and works towards a sustainable future for all. So for us, that was really important because we felt that if a school's basing their learning around that, then they're employing people who truly believe in that. And that's the learning community that we wanted our children to be a part of. So over my 14 years here at Renaissance, I actually began in year 3. So I started in year 3. I had 3 years teaching in year 3, 2 years in year 2. Then I moved to year 6 and had 5 years in year 6, 3 years in year 5, and I've just taken on now the acting vice principal role. But when I was in year 3, year 5 and year 6, I was a year level leader. And I also had a stint as being a house director, setting up the house system and with some other colleagues who were great to work with. So yeah, taught a lot of year levels and I had lots of experience and connection with all the great people here at Renaissance. I think a big misconception that not just for me, I think generally in teaching is, and I guess I experienced it last year when I went to the year 13 graduation, when I went up and I said hello to, you know, some of the students and congratulations, they were like, what, you remember me? Like you taught me in year 3 and you still remember who I am, or, you know, year 6 and year 3. So that misconception that we forget them once they are no longer with us. And that's the beauty of being at Renaissance. It's really special being able to see students grow as learners, but as like human beings and people themselves, and how they outgrow us in physicality is amazing. Like they go from these young little people in primary and then they're towering giants in secondary. So I would say the misconception is we forget who they are, but we never forget who they are because we're so lucky to be able to still, from time to time, reconnect with them. And there's always some funny story to share with each other. Well, every day at Renaissance is a memorable moment. There's always something that we take away from the day that keeps us going. I think some of the big things are the big community events that keep us together, that are always fun to be a part of. Things like the school fair, the Terry Fox run, you know, the book week, all those big events are a great way to bring community together. So I really enjoy those. So I think they're really great, memorable memories for parents, teachers, and students. However, I would say, looking at big ones that I was connected with that really stick with me, one of the biggest ones would be working with a teacher who used to work here, Ms Sandra Bushnell, and we worked together to put together in Year 6 a camp opportunity for students to be able to go to Laos and connect with an NGO called Community Learning International. And that started off with us wanting to create an opportunity for students in primary to be able to have a taster of what it was like to give and to serve, like to seek and to serve in a different country, and to have that understanding that we're very fortunate to have what we have, and how and what can we do to give back to others. So Sandra and I worked together. We put together a proposal, shared it with Harry and Dr. Brown, and also the Year 6 team at the time. And it began with, there was myself, Sandra, Chrissy Bailey, who was another teacher from here who came over to trial and pilot the camp experience with us, and then my daughter Tara, and another girl in Year 6 called Danielle, and her dad. So we went over to see, is it something that primary school children will connect with and will give them long-term benefits of taking action and realising that they have a lot to contribute, not just where they are, but in other places around the world. And it started as a small little project, and prior to COVID, it was a really successful camp that we had at least 10 families each year attending.
So we can help with them.
Yeah, so that was really good. I think setting up the house system that I was talking about before, because, worked with a great group of people to set up the house system. There was Mike Day, Mike Hansen, and Rob Farmer. So we worked together to get that up and running. And the house system, as Dr. Brown says to us all the time, we're in a very big school, so the house system makes a big school feel smaller so that they can connect. So that was lots of fun putting that together. And I love how it's developed and changed from the very beginning. It hasn't stayed the same. So when new people have come in and taken on their roles, taken on the role, they've, added to it, which makes it great. And my final thing I would say is some of the changes that we created when I was in Year 6, working with the Year 6 team connected to exhibition. So looking at truly making exhibition about the students' curiosities and wonders, where they could work independently, but they could work together with other students as well. So and again, that's developed and changed over the years as well. But it's great to be here and see those changes too. I really enjoyed that. But having those things to be a part of, initiating and developing in a new school were great. I wouldn't say that there's one student or one person within the RCHK learning community that is more memorable than another, because every year and every group of people are very, very different, and we're all unique and special in our own ways. I think the staff and the people, like the students and parents that really stand out and who are memorable to me, are the ones who take the time to say hello, and will come up to you on the playground. They're not afraid or shy. You know, they have that connection with you. You know, they take the time to appreciate and show gratitude towards the teachers here at RCHK who work really hard. So I think they're the ones who really stand out for me, the ones who make that effort to say hello, reconnect, even though it could be, you know, a while since we've met. They do that, and that to me is really important. Relationships is really, really important. I would say my favourite place, even though it can be very, very cold at times, my favourite place would be the PAC, which is our Performing Arts Centre. And the reason the PAC is my favourite place at Renaissance is it's like our watering hole. It's where everyone comes together as a community. So it's where we come together to start off the school year as a learning community. It's where we come to celebrate, whether it's through assemblies or just having meetings with each other. It's where we bring our parents to start off anything before we go anywhere else. It's where the local community comes and connects with us as well, where graduations happen. So it's where we showcase who we are at RCHK. And I think having that central place that we're able to begin whatever it is that we're doing before we go to other places is really special, having that. So I would say that the PAC is, my favourite place. I'd say to the graduating students, and my daughter will be part of that this year as well, is to follow your dreams and passions. And if you're not sure what it is just yet, that's okay. Take your time and take time to seek it out and find out what you connect with. There's no rush. Still got plenty of time to make that, to connect with what it is that you would like to do. Be proud of yourself. You know who you are as a learner. You know what you need and what direction you want to go in. So make sure, take those times to celebrate and be proud of who you are, because that's really, really important. And it's something that sometimes we forget to do. So take time to do that. And lastly, be kind and share your dreams and passions, your knowledge, your skills and understanding, not just with the people who are at your school and your families, but reach out to the local community, the global community, and go make a difference.